Welcome to episode 3 of Rod's Guitar Workshop. Today I thought it would be interesting to talk about guitar picks. You know, we all have them. Maybe if you're starting out, you bought a guitar and they threw a handful of them in your case. Not sure what to use, what should you do? Well, so I thought I'd talk about them a little bit. These are probably one of the biggest parts of your tone connection. Are these picks. They all really do sound different if you listen closely enough. They come in different materials, different sizes, and all of that thing, and they all kind of sound different. And the cool thing about these is they're still relatively cheap. Most of this stuff, there's nothing cheap involved in it, right? Everything is expensive to get a different sound or a different tone. So these are actually relatively inexpensive still, but you can get a lot of different sounds. If you see the studio players, they'll have 50 picks on a music stand because they all want different sounds. The basic concept is, and there's lots of variations, there's as many, more than we could ever talk about, but the basic concept is you'll have a thin pick, medium pick, and then a heavy pick, and then depending on the material and the size. So those are the variables. Now there's varying degrees of thin, medium, and heavy, but that's the basic. If we were talking about like Fender picks, they have extra heavies and so forth, but really we're talking about thin, medium, and heavy, and the difference in the sound. They all sound different, and that's the really cool part about them. So I'm going to start with basically our standard shape. This is a Fender Heavy. Okay, I don't know if can you see that? Is it focusing on that? So this would be the standard Delrin shape right here. Try to not have it on my face. There you go. Okay. I use these a lot. These are really cool because you have 3 different points on them. Okay, so the pointy end of it, that end of it, gives a much more bitey attack. But then I can turn it and play with the blunt side of it, or the stubbier side, and it gives it a more woody, kind of a sound. I don't know if you can actually detect that in a YouTube video, but if you were playing and sitting right next to your amp, here's the point, here's the shoulder, to me, it's a pretty distinct difference in sound. On a heavier pick, so this is a heavy, on a heavier pick, you don't have as much pick chatter, is what I'll use to refer to that. When you use a lighter pick, you'll start to hear some of the pick noise. This is still relatively heavy. This is, kind of like a medium, probably. In this material, so the Fender one is basically plastic, okay? This is called Tortex, so they come in different materials too, and the different materials have a different sound. So now you not only have the thickness, but also the material is going to sound different. There's Ultex and nylon, and there's different materials, and they all sound and feel different, which is kind of cool to experiment with. They also have other shapes. So this is a Dunlop Jazz 3. I don't know, can you see that? It's a little guy. have used these for years and years, and exclusively for many, many years. And then I started kind of experimenting with some different picks and was liking getting some different sounds and stuff. But this is a much smaller pick, and it has a different sound. And these all come in different materials too. So it's kind kind of whatever you like, you know. I always tell people will go, well, what should I use? I'm not a pick Nazi with my students. There are teachers that are, well, you need to use this, and that's the only thing you can use. I always say experiment. Find what you like, because it's different for everybody. You know, a guy like Eddie Van Halen uses a really thin pick. It's like a piece of paper almost. So, you know, to dictate what feels comfortable to people is kind of ridiculous. And what might be great for your buddy or your guitar hero might not work for you. You got to kind of find your own path forward in a lot of this stuff. And that's the beauty of music and playing an instrument, is finding your own path forward. We can get so bogged down now with the internet, and everyone's an expert telling you what you should buy and what gear you need, what strings you should use. And really all that's BS, because it really is just a personal pathway forward. You're going to find what you like and what makes you play better and what inspires you. And that's really all the gear is for, is to inspire you to play. You know, because ultimately the tone really is in your hands, but there's all of these little different things we can use that inspire us to play different by slightly changing the sound of them. Is an audience member at a bar gig going to know whether you used a Fender Heavy or a little Jazz 3? No. But you'll know. It makes it more comfortable for you and makes it kind of fun. So that's the cool thing about picks. One other little thing I'll talk about is, and I'll get a bigger pick here and drop it, is a little thing I like to do, which is kind of, you know, if you think about striking the string, okay, these are the strings. If I hit it flat, the pick is going to snag, okay? And all of our speed is in our right hand. Everyone thinks speed is here, and obviously there is a correlation, but really the speed is in the attack of the pick. So just the very basic concept is, if the pick is flat when it strikes the strings, it's going to snag. Can you hear that? That's going to make alternate picking very difficult to do. So what I do is I just slightly turn the pick, not at quite a 45 degree, and I attack the string across it. So what happens is when the pick strikes the string, it naturally rolls off this curve, okay, up and down. And you'll never see in a video, but if you look at my pick, the edges are worn, they're beveled on each side from attacking it like that. So I have found that you can get a really smooth kind of attack by doing that. There's a lot of speed there, and it's very easily controlled. Well, just with that up and down motion. And if you notice, I'm barely moving. I'm lazy. So I want to put forth the least amount of effort as I probably can to get the greatest results. So experiment with that. See if that helps you. Everyone kind of holds things differently. Everyone's hands work different, you know, so we all approach this stuff totally different. It's very unique for everybody. So hopefully you enjoyed this. Hopefully this helps. If you dig what we're doing here and you enjoy this concept and hopefully you're getting something out of it, please subscribe and hit the like button. And that helps us out here, and hopefully we can keep these going and get some stuff. Also, if you have questions on topics that you'd like to see covered, put it in the comments, and I'll try and do my best to get them. And if it kind of fits in what we're doing here, we will put that, do a lesson on it. Again, what I'm trying to do is do things that are going to help take your playing to the next level and help you develop your own unique voice on it, on the instrument, and take it someplace that's very personal to you. Get your own sound is kind of what we're talking about here. How do I get my own sound on this thing? Take these concepts and actually put it into something that you can use, you know, no matter what your musical journey is. So I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for listening. Have a great week.